Ahoy, chummers! We are back once again with Shadowrun Hong Kong from Harebrained Schemes. So this will be part 6 of my Where I Play, and we're going to just jump right in and continue where I left off this afternoon. So, continue. Right, so we had gone down into the walled city, and it was a pit and miserable, and I came out and went and talked to Kindly Cheng. Told her that we had to kill all the dudes and then bunk down for the night at the freighter that Gobbet and Isabel own. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So we'll get going here in just a minute, as soon as it loads. Da-da-da-da-da. There we go. So I need to bunk for the night. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, hey, hi, creepy. Well then, that's going to give me nightmares. The dream is suffocating. The shifting tunnel of glass and steel, the towering silhouette of dark majesty, the shadowy doorway, and the teeth. They snap at your heels as you claw your way back to consciousness. You open your eyes to Duncan looming over you. Yeah, didn't they mention something about your foster father dude having seen something about teeth in dreams? So that's not good. Steven, come on, Steven, wake up. We got to talk to the Kindly. The others already left. That was one rough night. We gotta go. I've been trying to wake you for a while now. You were thrashing around in your sleep. Thanks. Let's get going. We don't want to keep the mob boss waiting. You look kind of raw. Didn't sleep well. Bad shroom. I never remember my dreams all that well. It was probably motion sickness, not used to sleeping on a boat. I woke up a little while ago and hit the head. Then we came back and woke you. You doing okay? I'll survive. But man, nothing's gone right since we stepped foot in this country. I'll tell you something though, and this is after a full night's sleep. I don't believe Ray's dead. What makes you say that? Think about it. That statement from the cops in the newscast could be fake. Ours was, and that surveillance footage, we never saw Raymond get shot. The camera was hit by stray gunfire. His passion is intense, but contained, focused. Raymond's alive, Stephen. I know it. I'll roll with that. I'm fine with that. Should have been a detective instead of a headbuster, right? God, I feel like I'm 12 years old again, squatting on a stinking trawler. My partner's gone. Raymond's gone. Hell, I'm gone. I don't even have a name anymore. And now I can't even go to sleep and hide from it all without having a nightmare. What else is going to be taken away from me? Have that piercing you got in Tacoma? I had to drop that. Hygiene issues. What the hell did we fall into here, Steven? I mean, what's coming next? Whatever it is, we'll deal. That's right, that's right. It's like Ray always said. The winds of change blow. Some people build walls, others build windmills. That was our housekeeper, Mrs. Maloney. Alright. Gobbet and Isabel left a while ago. We should get going, see what the Triad Lady has to say. Alright. Let's see if I want to pick up anything extra. Yeah. Okay, so he doesn't have any of his locked items anymore. It's alright. We'll do that. Alright, and we are out of here. That's neat, the little orb thingy down there. You can probably scroll out. There we go. So, alright, so we're heading back to the Mahjong parlor. Mahjong is a really strange game. Alright. They've got somebody tied up here. Okay, I wonder what's going on. Kylie's face reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. The clicking of Mahjong tiles is strangely absent. In its place is a low murmur of laughter and an air of eager anticipation. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of Kylie Cheng. She beckons to him with her finger, and he struggles towards her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp crackling under his knees as he moves. Yeah, and there is even a plastic tarp. That's a little creepy. His pants are wet with fear, and a acetylene torch lies on the table at Cheng's right hand. How did you sleep, my little one? Fine, thanks. What's with the guy on the floor? Shitbird here is a plainclothes cop. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping in. They saw to it that your rest was undisturbed and that your location remained a mystery. You can thank Mr. Bao for that. Ah, nice. I will thank him. I'll be nice. I'll be polite. Now, Shitbird, tell my friends what you told me. I don't know anything, I swear. We just got the orders last night. He pushes his head toward you and Wu from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Somebody high up wants these two dead. The whole department is in on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up? How high? The cop looks up at her, looks around the room filled with triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. The cop drops his head to his chest. All the way up, it's somebody on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead? Fuck your ancestors to the 18th generation. Give me the truth. It's the truth, madam, I swear. Whoever it was labeled them as terrorists were to terminate with extreme prejudice. Kindly Chen shuffles closer to the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her fingers into scalp. She pulls back hard until his chin points high. The triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. That's all he's got. For whatever reason, last night someone on the Executive Council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill two nobodies from Seattle. I found that fascinating, don't you? I call that some messed up shit. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. There, the megacorps control the government. Here, the corps are the government. The Exec Council is chosen by the corporate board of governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots. Neat and efficient. Kylie Cheng steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. For the wage slaves and the civilian sheep, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. But not for us. Who else knows about my guest visit to Hawaii? Shitbird. No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted the kill for myself. No one knows they're here. I swear it. Mr. Bao? Bao fiddles with the PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. No outgoing calls. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. In one smooth motion, Strangler Bao produces a silenced pistol, fires it once into the policeman's head, and replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expression. Looks like the triads can be just as efficient. It's clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city, something having to do with prosperity. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. Now they want you dead for it too. The plastic face man may show up in your door one day too. I have a proposal for you. Work for me. With Nightjar and Gutshot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here. Players unaffiliated with the triads who can take care of some of the more unsavory business needs about town. You've proven yourselves resourceful, and you have no existing connections here. That can be a positive in this line of work. Shadowrunners. Wu grunts, his jaw tightens, but he stays quiet. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this. You will have safe harbor here in my town and a steady source of income. And while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organized crime, and clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black. Where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, what's this prosperity could be. You're putting a lot of effort into helping a pair of foreigners. Not foreigners, my sweet, valued business associates. I need to learn who killed one of my clients, and then order the cops to execute my team of Shadowrunners. This is a brazen disregard of my power. Face dictates that it must be confronted, or I stand to lose everything. How would this arrangement work? I find the right jobs for people with your talents. You do what our clients cannot do for themselves. I take a finder's fee. It's all very civilized. It's all very Shadowrun. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You are completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. You need a partner. Conley Chang will be your partner. Wu's hands go to his hips. He drops his head and shakes it a little. I gotta wrap my brain around this, Steven. Things are moving fast. There's a lot to process. Sorry. My voice, I'm getting a little... I don't usually read out loud like this so much. It gets to me after a little bit. I start tripping over my words. Alright. So. Come on, Wu. You and me out on the streets together again. I know. I get it. I just gotta reconcile this whole... Ah, fuck it. I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead. I'm in. What about you? I think he's still alive too. Let's run the shadows and figure out what happened to him. I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Chen keeps up her end of the bargain and helps us figure out what's really happened to him. Then I'm gonna find my father. Then it's done. How is now open to you. First order of business, Chaos here already has chosen a street name. But Duncan Wu doesn't exist anymore. You'll need one too. Yeah, I'll think of something. I think we've already got you covered, Gun Show. Fits, doesn't it? Indeed. I knew that was gonna stick. Yeah, I like it. It has stuck. Got it, Isabel. We'll handle this the same way we did with all your previous work. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squat boat. I got it. It's a simple process of elimination. Isabel isn't the leader type. As for Gobbet, let's say Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. And then there's Gun Show. The jury's out on Gun Show. Meaning there's a lot going on with you there's a lot going on within that head of yours. Okay. Space shouldn't be there. Within that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. Gun Show will be fine, trust me. Don't worry, I'll be cool stuff, Steven. Steven Williams doesn't exist anymore. Call me Chaos. I guess this is our new crew. Welcome to the Shadows. Alright. Heck of an introduction. So, crew advancement available. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right-hand corner of the screen will open the crew advancement menu. When this icon is highlighted, one or more of your companion is eligible to learn a new combat skill. At each advancement level, you may choose one of two possible combat... Ooh, neat. So this is new. This is something very different from the... I'm guessing that's this little arrow down here. They didn't do this in the other one. So, Gobbet can learn a ranged combat skill. Or I can have her... Ooh, I like that. Spiritualist is nice. Alright, what do we got here for the Decker? Sabotage. Can fire remote mines which can be triggered to detonate at will. Gains Tar Blaster 1.0 program, an upgraded version of the blaster that also sticks enemies in place for 1 round. I can either make her a combat character or make her a better Decker. I think I'm going to go with Decker because we got combat covered. And then Duncan. Gun show himself. Oh neat, and it tells you what he's gaining. Body +1, range combat +1, dodge, rifle, unarmed. Neat. Firepower round. Lethal force. Gains an assault rifle ability that fires a single shot of incendiary ammo, does an additional 2 damage, and pierces up to 2 armor. It's not bad. Or crowd control. Does 2 AP damage as it imbalances the target, making them easier to hit on subsequent attacks. I think I like lethal force. Alright. Well, I guess our next stop will probably be back to the boat. But I kind of want to explore a little bit. Reliable Matthew. I'm guessing he's a rigger dealer, maybe? There's a whole bunch of drones, it looks like, here. Smooth the jazz, drifts from cheap speakers on the barge. A wide array of worn-down drones litter the battered deck. Most are utility domestic types that are few, cordoned off from the others, are low-end security models. Salesman. Wearing cheap skin. Welcome to our little floating heaven. You've got a discerning look about you. What brings you to Reliable Matthew's Robot Bazaar? I know it, beautiful. I hope I don't offend. I just can't help it. To me, everyone's beautiful. Okay, then. What can I say? I can't hold back. It's just such a great world. You're Reliable Matthew? Or Reliable Matthew Shun? Let's bow, because I think it's better than shaking hands. Ah, okay, never mind. Should have shaken hands. I'm interested in combat models. Funny you should ask. I've just gotten a Doberman that I'm selling at an incredible bargain price. Take a look at the drones. Alright. Ooh, they're pricey. I can't afford any of them. Oh no, I can afford these. Doberman, smokers, cargo carrier. Outfits. Alright. Well, that was interesting, but what I need to do is find a mage vendor, because I could really use some more spells. I also think I need to explore a few places. As you approach the small landing, you see 3 men, 2 elders and a younger man hunched over a go board. The juxtaposition of 2 white-haired, white-bearded men and a black-haired man is almost comical. Together, the three resemble the small black and white stones of the game. Alright. Hello there, young man. Something you need? Just a gawker, Shu. It's your turn. Got a second for questions? I could use a short break. Fine, a short break. Been having strange dreams recently? I hear that happens around here. What a coincidence. Wasn't but an hour ago that we were all discussing that very thing. We've been having bad dreams, every one of us. Do you mind sharing? Makes you think we'd be comfortable sharing our dreams with a complete stranger. Seems like a good way to get ourselves in trouble, especially with that what you kids can do with the Matrix you all love so much. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pause. Alright, so, let's see, where were we? Alright, what makes you think we'd share dreams? Don't mind him, he's always been a poor sport, but he raises good points. Some of our dreams contain information best left private, just as yours do. Having just met, how can we be sure you'll respect our personal information? I'll tell you. The younger man's voice cut through the din like a razor, and the elders fall silent. He turns to you and locks his eyes, dark orbs that burn with piercing scrutiny, into yours. He nods and returns his gaze to the go board. I believe you're trustworthy. Please, Chaos, make yourselves comfortable. I'll share my dream with you. Alright. I appreciate it. Go ahead. I dreamed of a long, dingy hall. When faced with such a thing, one generally walks its length, so I lifted my right foot and placed it in front of me. But upon taking that first step, I find myself instead drawn down the hallway to my left. It wasn't there before. This alley it appeared only as I began to walk. As I moved down the alley, I found myself surrounded by friends and loved ones. There they all stood, I'm guessing, silently watching me with smiles on their faces. And as I passed each one of them, they fell to the ground in my wake, dropping like puppets with severed strings. Somehow I knew that, if I followed the road to the end, I could have everything I'd ever dreamed of, but I woke before I could reach it. I too saw the long hall. My own experience was different, however. The hall wasn't far off from the distance, and I was looking down on it from a strange angle, as though I was perched on the wall high above. You know, young man, Chaos, you look very much like the person I saw walking that hall. He moved steadily down the path, walking at an even pace, and just behind him a great and terrible shadow followed. Of course, I didn't have the best view up there on that wall, or whatever it was. It could have been anyone. Perhaps this old mind of mine was seeing your face now and misremembering the dream. Alright, Gin, go ahead. I've changed my mind. I don't want to share my dream. Nonsense. Master Lau and I have both told him our dreams. Now it's your turn. No. It's fine. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. See? Straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have to. Gin, this is important. Alright, alright. But don't you go repeating any of this. You hear me? My dream began as a nightmare. I dreamed of failures and mistakes I'd made throughout my life, the people I'd let down, the competitors I'd crushed, the wife who died in hospice without me. I dreamed of the family that I abandoned. But then I dreamed of the walled city. I stood before it, and its door opened to me, and when I passed inside, all my guilt fell away. It was as if the city had absolved me, had washed away my guilt, and I remember feeling happy. There, I did it. Are you happy? Thank you again. Alright, I won't abuse it. Now can we change the subject? I'm guessing you've been around these parts longer than I am. Is this sort of thing normal? If it were normal, we wouldn't be huddled around discussing them in whispers now, would we? Enough of that, Gin. Chaos here asked in earnest for advice. He deserves a proper response. Please forgive our friend. Better years have left him suspicious of others. The answer to your question is no. Upsetting dreams have never been uncommon, Hyo, but these recent visitations have been different. They've been darker, more vivid, stronger than normal dreams. Last night, I felt consumed by the sense that something was coming, While my friends here felt a sense of relief and excitement as their dreams ended, I felt as though I was sitting on the precipice of some vast and terrible chasm with a void yawning beneath my feet. But perhaps these are just the ramblings of an old man. Forgive me. You speak wisely, Shu. It is foolish to embrace a thing that you do not understand. What Gid and I saw in our dreams was alluring, but was so is the light to a moth. Your instincts are still strong and sharp, my old friend. It is wise of you to trust them. Thank you. I can only hope these dreams do not lead to something beautiful. I can only hope these dreams do lead to something beautiful. There's already enough deception in this world. Can we back to the game now? Looks like break's over. Stop by again sometime soon, Chaos. Alright. Well, that was interesting. The Parlor of Five Phases. Let's see what's in here. Ooh. Crafty Jus. A mild scent, sweet and slightly herbal, is the first thing you notice upon entering the old shop. Its quarters are cramped, made smaller by the display cases, and furniture packed inside. This looks like it might be a mage place. The walls are lined with bookshelves, and the tables and chairs are stacked with old tomes. A few titles jump out at you. Lucid Dreaming, Exploration of the Inner Self, Dream Logic, Nocturnal Visitations. Overall, the place feels lived in, if disorganized. Not quite cluttered, but close. Milling at the front of the store is the shopkeeper, lost in her book of her own. She's tall for a human, probably close to 2 meters in height. Her physique is typical bookworm, not overweight, but you can't see any muscular definition either. A wrap-around tattoo covers her upper arms and shoulders, but from where you're standing you can't quite make it out. She fidgets. Gradually her eyes rise from her book and lock onto you. Crafty Jus. Welcome. I don't believe I've seen you before. Name's Crafty. Chaos. Nice to meet you. So, Chaos, what can I do for you? I've got spells, alchemical reagents, foci, whatever you want, really. Might have to do some digging to find it, but if it's magical, it's around here somewhere. Say, Crafty, have you had any vivid dreams lately? As a matter of fact, I have, Chaos, but we all get an occasional vivid dream, nothing special there. Well, why are you reading up on them? Sure, it's a little weird that we're having them, but these types of dreams are common in the walled city. Nothing to get all worked up about. Probably. They're common? Common as the cold. My mother devoted her life to researching the walled city and the magical phenomenon with it. I've never been inside the walled city myself, but Mom went in plenty regularly and experienced the dreams. Dead. Mom was interesting, but not praiseworthy. What else do you know about the walled city? Very little. Spent most of her time in there, and she was, well, it messed her up. Is there something specific you wanted to know? I want to know about the people who live there. Tend to fall into two groups, those who are threats and those who are threatened. You're either hunting or hiding. Life is harsh. Most people never get out. Now, there's a whole library here that just so happens to be the foremost location for walled city text. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. I get the feeling that your relationship with your mother was unusual. She was obsessed with the walled city, put it before everything else in her life. Ate, slept, and breathed that city. Was something fueling her obsession? Yeah, actually. Mom was convinced that something was wrong with the place, that it was cursed in some way, polluted with unnaturally bad qi. She'd visited the city under the protection of the Yellow Lotus and spent hours, sometimes days, studying it. Mother was consumed by her search. She sure tried. Mom thought she could find a way to purify the place and exorcise its demons. Her obsession with the walled city grew, and she devoted more and more of her life to breaking its curse. Wish I could say she fell off the radar, but really the rest of the world fell off of hers. Must have been hard for you. It is what it is, and here I am. I've been thinking about the dreams. Can I ask you something? Why do you think they're affecting people outside the walled city? It's definitely strange. Until now, I always thought the dreams were nonsense, that my mother had just night terrors because of her madness. But now it's really happening, and not just to me, to others around here. Those same psychic forces that drove Mom insane are edging into our subconscious. Lately, I've been wondering if there might have been something to her ravings. Maybe. I've been skeptical for so long it feels almost blasphemous to consider it. Maybe the walled city curse is real. I just don't know. Maybe you can learn something from your mom's journals. That's true, but my mom's notes are scattered all over the shop. Most of her research is scrawled in the margins of the books you see on the shelves and piles stacked all around. The clues we need to figure this out could be in any one of those volumes, and there are thousands of them. I have a bad feeling about these dreams, Crafty. If there's anything we can do. Yeah, I know what I have to do. It's just, damn, look at them all. Guess I won't be finishing this one anytime soon. Alright, Chaos, I'm gonna get started now. But but it'll take time. The House of Five Phases is jammed from floor to ceiling with books. Any one of them could hold valuable information. Check in once in a while, and I'll share my findings. Keep me updated. Alright, let's check out the wares. There we go. Let's see. Life Sight. An initiate level blood magic practiced by the mages of Atslan. If target is damaged by the spell, caster gains 4 hit points per round for 2 rounds. Nice. Heal. Need heal. Which leaves me with 500. That's not much. I'd really like Flamethrower. And those are all Conjuring Shamanic stuff, so... Alright, we'll get these. Let's put that on. Alright. Gives me better armor. And we've got the heal spell. Confirm. Thanks, Crafty. Well, I've got a heal, I got a little bit more armor, and now I was broke. So let's head back to the boat. I'm sure there's some other stuff to explore, but we'll go ahead and take care of the boat first and see what's going on, since that's where we need to go next. Let's see. Down the hatch. Rector. Oh, yeah, he's one of your other teammates you eventually get. The air is full of synthetic odors. You can smell grease. I was wondering when I'd meet the new neighbor. His voice is pleasant, cultured. There's a hint of Russian accent there, but it's buried under layers of nuance. Please stay where you are. I'll be with you in just a moment. And unless you fancy an unplanned trip to Chrome Alley, don't touch anything. There are all manners of tools here and here that could take your hand clean off. Take your time, I won't touch anything. Ah, you're very kind, thank you. Let's look at the robot arms. Each arm has been fitted for at least a dozen different welders, soldering guns, extruders, and metal fabrication tools. You've seen machinery like this in factories before, but they're terribly out of place in the Volthol's cramped engine room. Alright. So sorry I've kept you waiting, Mr. Cass. It's no problem, don't worry about it. The walking drone comes out. Please don't mind the drone. He can be territorial, but so long as you remain civil, he will not bite. He extends a hand. Simultaneously, the drone relaxes into a neutral posture, lowering its killing leg. Raptor, my mechanical counterpart here is called Koshai. I think it's Koshai. Shake his hand. Pleasure. I am pleased to meet you, my friend. In a community such as Heo, it's important to be on good terms with one's neighbor. Let's ask some questions. When you said this morning's casting, what did you mean? Exactly what I said, a casting that I made of new locomotive assembly for Koshai. A biomimetic design, as you can see. This one is inspired by the walking legs of a decapod crustacean, the mangrove crab. Will this new Lego sound make your drone more effective? That remains to be seen, but there is more to life than combat effectiveness, is there not? By fabricating new components for Koshai, I unlock options. Different ways of being, even the failures, and there have been many, have value in this context. How did you learn to do all this? My more training experience than I care to mention. Drone architecture was once my profession, you see, now it's more of a calling. One that I'm free to pursue now that I've freed myself from the shackles of corporate servitude. Koshai is an interesting name for a drone. Yes, I suppose. Not many riggers would name their most prized possession after a villain from a fairy tale. A nod to my heritage. I don't know the story, so... And my character apparently doesn't either, because it doesn't have academic. Thoroughly unpleasant one. Koshai the Deathless, he was called, and for good reason. His soul was cleverly hidden outside of his body, so not be killed so long as it remained intact. Alright, so that's kind of a Lich phylactery situation, or, you know, Voldemort and his Horcruxes. Koshai was a villain and a notorious kidnapper of women, but something about him always stuck with me. I suppose that was the notion of immortality through cleverness that resonated. There was something to be learned from that, I was sure. And so, when it came time to name my beloved creation, his was the first name that came to mind. And your drone deathless, and is your drone deathless, like its namesake? In a manner of speaking, I suppose that he is. I have redundant copies of every piece of his architecture, and his core programming is stored on disk in a secret location. Should he ever suffer critical damage, I can easily bring him back. I had a plan once to automate the self-repair process, but I must confess, it was really quite ingenious, but alas, my research was lost. One day I will reclaim it, and Koshai will become as deathless as the stories claim, but it will not be today. How can you afford it? Freelance. At the risk of sounding immodest, I've commodified myself rather well. There are always corporations in need of design consultants. You'd be surprised at how lucrative such work can be. And there is always other work that I can do in a pinch. I think that's enough talking to him for now. I can ask him more. Ah, well. Let's get some Shadowrun on. Your workstation and mission terminal. Cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. Let's check my inbox. 6 unread messages. Welcome to Hawaii. Chaos, on behalf of your friends at the Hawaii Chamber of Commerce and Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, I welcome you to the community of Hawaii and our new business venture. I've already lined up 3 jobs for you. The details of each are contained in a separate computer message. Remember to check your messages often, as I will update you with new opportunities as they occur. Your mission computer. Hey Chaos, I've set your mission computer to automatically collect and collate news reports. Some of the keywords I've got trolling for are things like Raymond, Duncan, Walled City, etc. I've also patched in a permanent link to the Hong Kong shard of the Shadowlands BBS. It's a great place to connect with other runners, sell pay data, get news from the street, and so on. Don't be shy about taking a look. Resources. From Bao. I have been instructed to inform you of the various suppliers of present Hawaii. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Hawaii. Anti-Chung has cultivated a commercial district of well-stocked and trustworthy vendors. Whoever you choose to do business with, you will be in good hands. Ermine Kai-Fi at Club 88 is an excellent resource for acquiring additional weaponry, should you require any. If you're ever in need of magical supplies, go to the Parlor of 5 Phases. If you desire training in the Path of the Adept, seek out Spider Shen, as well as supply you with any close-quarter weapons. Chrome Alley can supply you with cybernetic enhancements and medical supplies. The proprietor, 10-Armed Ambrose, is a cyber surgeon with some repute. Law's Techno Palace is a Wampoin run supplier of the local decking community. The place is hard to miss, just look for the sign glowing in the sky. If you need drones, reliable Matthews Robot Bazaar is your best bet, and I pity you. Best of luck in the shadows. As fresh meat, you're likely to need it. Serial killer. I've got a problem, Chaos, and you're going to help me solve it. Do a lot of business with the Wampoians. If you're not familiar with the term, I'll forgive you. You're an outsider after all. Wampoans. Are a tribe of techno-fetishists and deckers who've taken up residence in the Whampoa Garden of Hong Kong. They make and trade high-tech goods to people from all over the world. A lot of Indian passes through their pasty little fingers, and I make a lot of money brokering deals. But I've hit a snag, though. The Whampoan elders, their council of leaders, are being eliminated by a serial killer. They've asked me to dispatch someone to get to the bottom and stop the killings, and they're not taking their goods through my turf until I do. So you're going to be my proxy, dear. I don't care how you do it, but I need those murders stopped. The Whampoans have a delegate here in Hawaii by the name of Maximum Law. Speak with him if you wish to know about Whampoa. He's got a big mouth, but he knows very little of importance. Don't expect much from that half-empty bottle of vinegar. Get your ass down to Whampoa Garden and talk to the elders. Lie, cheat, and steal if you have to, so long as they're convinced that there won't be any more murders. I want my cut back, and I want it soon. Artifact liberation. Received a draft from an archaeologist named Mr. Drake. That is never a good name in Shadowrun. He's interested in liberating certain artifacts from beneath a manor house located in Taipo. I sent a copy of the video message that he sent me. Screen filters to life and the email is replaced with the face of a stern-looking orc. Hello, Madam Cheng. I've heard that you are a woman who knows how to get things done, especially with regards to things that aren't legal in the strictest sense. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. Recently, rich investor, too much money, not enough space. All of them dating from the Song Dynasty. Consequently, I was contracted as an archaeologist to oversee the excavations and ensure everything was properly recorded and cataloged. Sure enough, we were only a few days into the excavation when we discovered a series of tombs lying beneath the site. The scope of the tombs was far beyond anything Lou or I had expected. Several acres of catacombs at least, and untouched relics throughout. What's more, they're certainly older than the Song Dynasty. They might even be from the previous cycle of magic. Before I could make my report to the Free Enterprise Zone authorities, however, Lou called in his allies, in Tantien Incorporated. Lou sold the entire site to Tantien, who then leased it back to him because Tantien is considered to have extraterritoriality. In Hong Kong, local authorities were powerless to stop Lou from looting the tombs. He immediately began building a museum, if you can call it that, atop the site. He had the gall to call his museum the Emperor's Tomb. The odds of there being an actual emperor buried there are basically nil, but he doesn't care. Anything to sell a few tickets. Blah, 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 blah. Workers have been disappearing. Whatever's down there is too dangerous to be left in loose hands. Found his data line tap. I bet in these texts are the cause of whatever's killing the workers. Beyond the two texts, I'm willing to pay very well for whatever other artifacts your team can liberate. The more valuable, the better. Don't worry, they'll be going to actual museums, not some rich playboy's mansion. I've got a second program in place that'll suppress Lou's security system. The team will have to be careful, though. There are only so many alarms I can suppress. Go beyond that number, and I'll scrub the mission. I've included a catalog of likely items to help the team appraise the most valuable ones. They don't need to be subtle. In fact, I'd prefer they make it look like a common robbery. Tell them to smash and grab whatever they can. Let me know if you find a suitable group of Shadowrunners. Alright, go in and steal some artifacts. And geomantic sabotage. Geomancy is big business here. Here in Hong Kong, Feng Shui isn't just the act of rearranging your kitchen to make things look pretty. The fortune of empires rise and fall with the ebb and flow of qi. And sometimes the flow needs a helping hand. Spice must flow. Wuxing Incorporated are the preeminent practitioners of large-scale qi manipulations here in the Free Enterprise Zone. They've gone to great lengths to channel qi from all over Hong Kong into their headquarters, an enormous monstrosity that they call the Wuxing Sky Tower. There, it is focused and transformed into good fortune throughout the building's geomantically attuned architecture and interior decoration. Our client believes that it's time for Wuxing's good luck to run out. You are to infiltrate the Sky Tower and disrupt the flow of qi throughout the building. But you are to do so in two distinct fashions. First, you must disrupt the feng shui of the offices by subtly altering the environment of that level. This will consist of minor adjustments of desks, spilled water, and other small activities that are unlikely to be noticed. Ordinarily, even subtle disturbances of this nature would be noticed. This is why the client wishes you to make a much louder demonstration on the rooftop garden. The garden is to be ransacked, utterly destroyed, set fire to things, uproot trees, that kind of thing. Our client has also specified that he would like you to destroy the large Buddhist statue in the garden. Smash the thing to bits and leave them scattered across the rooftop. This level of destruction will keep Wuxing's geomancy busy long enough that the more subtle disruptions below will take effect. In addition, it will send the kind of message our client would like Wuxing to hear. Have the Usma faced, given your own skills, should be able to do it, yada yada yada. Alright. Let's look at Shadowland real quick. Zero. Missed connections. You, rappelling down the side of an unnamed luxury hotel in a ball gown on Monday night. Me, admiring the view from the 28th floor, urinals during a private soiree for an unnamed corporation that I was infiltrating. Our eyes met briefly before you dropped out of sight. Your long dark hair had come loose from your chignon, framing your beautiful flushed face. I will never forget it. You were carrying a duffel bag bulging with stolen prototype weaponry. Well, I finched the intel that goes with it. Can we connect? Blackjack. Ha. Very funny, Blackjack. I'm sorry the job went sideways. I got trapped and had only one way out. Red Queen. We were supposed to have each other's backs. Just wait until you hear the way out that I had to take. We gotta lay low for now. And why are you posting about this on a public message board? Terrorists in Hong Kong. Been hearing about some mainlander terrorists that showed up in Victoria. Anything here about that? Ming Pao said there was 4 of them, and and 4 of them that got away. 1 human, 2 orcs, and a dwarf. A troll, an elf, and a human were all killed on the scene. Word is there members of the White Star out of Henan coming here to start trouble against the Executive Council. Looks like there's a 50,000 new yen reward for any information leading to their capture. The HKPF seems pretty nervous about letting these bastards walk freely about the street. You'd think they'd actually pay out somebody like us? Not a chance. You walk in there to claim the reward, you're getting thrown in a hole with them. The HKPF doesn't keep promises with the Endless. Couldn't hurt to try. Why'd you have to be such a downer? Because I know the police. They're all dirty. They're only in it to protect their paychecks, and they don't give a damn about anybody else, believe me. I'm just looking out for your best interests. Like you and your triad looked out for my brother, you know he's still paying for his reconstructive surgery, you bastard. If a man wants to keep his teeth, he should pay what he owes rather than pull a gun on me. Simple as that. Oh God, Poetry Slam? Ladies and gentlemen, poets and Shadowrunners, welcome to the first annual Shadowland Poetry Slam. There are no rules, and there are also no prizes except bragging rights. With no further ado, let the versification begin. This is gonna hurt. How long do we think you can keep going before the trolls show up or a sysadmin shuts us down? Why would they shut us down? It's a free board. We can be poetic if we want to. Just trust me, it happens. For some reason, these things always draw out the worst sort of attention. Are you going to give us a poem, or are you going to stand around complaining about why you can't? Alright, I've got it. Wait for it. Synth muscle, smart links, neural boosters, cyber limbs, all fall to grenades. A little musing on the transience of life in the shadows. Very nice. When the long shadows fall on Hong Kong, neon lights pierce the coming night. Tread with me the velvet blackness, let no lamp shine on our deeds. That one's entitled Our Hour. Lasers are red, shadows are black. With Matt on the street, you'd best watch your back. An homage to Wang Wei, the famous Tang Dynasty master of the Zhuzhai. Unlike that ridiculous limerick you posted. Now, I don't think we have to take the word slam quite so literally. Hey, you people know the rules. Poetry slams have been out of bounds on the BBS since the Laughing Man debacle of 55. You want to slay... Fuck you, Harlequin. Oh, God. If you want to slang your fancy words, do it on a different forum. I'm shutting this thread down. Told you. Walled City. I've got a courier job next week that's supposed to take me to Walled City. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, and I've never been to Hong Kong, but I hear that place is dangerous as hell. Is there anything I should know? Oh, you've got nothing to worry about. It's just a low-cost housing development full of hard-working people. Here, take a look at this news report. A blight on today's sunny side up. The Kowloon Walled City, a blight on the free enterprise zone, or low-cost housing for the economically disadvantaged. We'll introduce you to some of the hard-working residents, how they live, and how they contribute to the growth and prosperity of our city. When we went there, the reality was far different. What we saw will shock you. Citizens of Hong Kong working and living just like the rest of us. Their apartments are smaller and their shops more modest, but the people who live there couldn't be out of place anywhere in the FEZ. Citizens like shoemaker Chow Sang Su. Oh, I love it here. We have a community, you know? We're like family. Maybe we don't have it as nice as they do in Repulse Bay, but I can't imagine living anywhere else. It's not paradise, no, but it's my home. I grew up here. How could I possibly leave? Far from the eyesore that video stutters and... Okay, I've decided to cut the rest of that crap. She keeps going on about what a good place the Walled City is and how we all need it. Don't buy any of it. It may not be hell, but you can see it from there. Freedom Cowboy's just trying to get you in trouble. Oh, that was Isabel. So how do you know the real story? Because I grew up there. You know what it's really like? It's eating old broth made from rat bones because there's nothing else. It's watching your neighbors sell their 5-year-old son to an organ digger so they don't have to starve to death. When you die in the Walled City, your neighbors cheer because they'll get the clothes off your back. I wouldn't wish the Walled City on my worst enemy. Ooh, that was kind of bleak. Alright, I have no pay data, so I'm not going to bother. So... jobs. Let's do the serial killer job first. Take the run. Alright, so I've got a serial killer to track down. However, I believe I am well past my time limit. Oh yeah, wow, this one went long, and it was me just reading things, so I kind of apologize for that. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and call this. You guys have a good one. We'll see you for part, what am I up to? Part 6? Part 7, shortly.